Hello everyone, welcome back to Logical Kanika, where we learn tech the simple way. Today we are diving into something super foundational in SQL, the create table statement. If you have ever wondered that how the databases actually store the data or how we can actually get started with organizing that data, that is it. This is ground zero. We will be learning how to create a table, how we can insert data into that table, and also we will be learning the super useful constraints that you should not ignore. So let's get started with it. All right, so let's start from the basics. In SQL, a table is like a spreadsheet, rows and columns. But here we decide upfront what kind of data each column will store. And to do that, we use the create table command. So let's say that we are building a small app that stores user information. Our users can have a name, age, email, and maybe a user ID. So here's how we would create a table for that. All right, so we write create table and we name the table as users, and in the parentheses we will give all of the column names that we just spoke about, say user id, name, age and email. So we'll start with user id, and since user id is numeric in nature, number, so that we'll give int as the data type, comma, name. Name is text, so we can just write the data type as varchar, and we can give it a limit that it should be of 50 characters. Then we write email, that is also a text, so we will write varchar, and let's say we give it a limit as 100. And then in the last we can say age. Age is again a number, so we can just write int. And this is how we can create a table. So this is the basic syntax through which we can just simply create a table called users. But this is just a basic, as I just said. Now let's talk about something very interesting, which is constraints, which will make our table a bit smarter. So constraints make our table safe and efficient. So they are like the rules that you apply to your table. They help maintain data integrity. I know it's a fancy word, but it just means that keeping the data clean and reliable. So let's talk about the most common constraints and where we can use them. So the first is primary key. Primary key uniquely identifies each row in a table. And then we have not null. This makes sure a column always has a value. Then we can think of unique. Unique ensures all values are different in a column. Then check. It validates data before it gets inserted. Default is also a constraint that sets a default value if nothing is given. Then we have a foreign key. Foreign key is something which links one table to another. Now let's apply some of these to our users table. All right, so let's change the syntax a bit here. We will just add the constraint into this particular syntax. So we will just write user ID as primary key. Why? Because user ID, since as the name suggests, it's an ID and it should be unique across all the users. So better give it as a primary key. So we will just write the constraints just like that. After the data type, you can just simply write the constraints. So user ID should be primary key. Name, let's say we give it as not null because what a user without a name, right? So let's write not null. Email, let's give it a constraint, say unique. Why unique? Because we don't want any duplicate accounts to be created with the same email. So better write unique. Then age, we can just write a check that it should always check the value whatsoever is to be inserted. If the age is should be greater than or smaller than any particular number. So you can just write check and then simply write age greater than equals to say 13. So every user above the age 13 should be inserted in this table. Let me just give in the parentheses like this. Okay. Now let's run this and see if the table is created or not. All right, so the query, sorry, let me just pull out the results. So it says that the table is created. Now let me just select star from users. All right, let me just execute this. All right, so we get the table over here. It has user ID, name, email, and age. But it is blank because just now we only have created the table. We have not yet inserted the data. So the next part is that how we can insert the data in a table. All right, so in order to insert the data in any of the table, we just simply write insert into, and you write the table name as users, and you can just leave the users with the parentheses like this, and if you want you can just give the name of the columns as well. So you can just simply write user ID, comma name, comma email, comma age. This is an optional thing. You, if you want to do, you can do, but if you will leave the parentheses inside the parentheses, it should be blank. Then also it is fine. So you just simply write insert into users, and then you write value, and you start with the another parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis you need to add the values you want to insert. So say for example we will write just one, comma name, let's say we can just write Anjali, and comma in the email we can just simply write Anjali dot 98 at the rate gmail.com, and in the age you can just simply write say 24. Okay, now what exactly this syntax mean, or what it says, that hey SQL, go into the users table and insert a data with the value user ID value as 1, with the name as Anjali, and the email and the age. Right now I just execute this. So it says that hey, like the insert query statement is completed. Let's validate it by simply running the select star from users query. Let me execute this, and hey, so we get the data as user ID 1, name Anjali, with the email and the age as well. All right. So now, similarly, you can just insert multiple rows of data as well. Nothing, you just have to do nothing but just start with a comma and simply go with all the values that you want to insert, where with the different values, say 2, and then we can just give the name as Rahul, and then you can just simply give the email as rahul94 at the rate gmail.com, and you can just simply write the age as 28 or 29. Okay, so this is how you can insert the data. If I'll execute this query, the first value Anjali will gonna get inserted twice. uh, so let me just try it that way, because since we have a check that primary ID should be unique, and and the email also it should be unique, there should be no duplicate accounts. So let's see if this particular query returns the data as in the output or throws an error. So I have executed this, and yes, let me just show you the result. It says that this query is failed and we got the error as duplicate entry 1 for the key users. And why we are getting this error? Because we have we have defined the constraint, and this constraint is primary. So see, I mean how useful these constraints are. This always helps you making your data clean and consistent throughout the tables. So this is very useful. And let me just give you another example to check whether we are, to check the age barrier that we have just used, age constraint that we have used as check. So I'll just remove this, and let me just insert a value with user ID as 2, name as, let's say, Rahul, and email, let's say it says rahul.93 at the rate gmail.com, and in the age, let's say we just write as it should be greater than or equals to 13. So let's write 12. And now let's simply execute this and see whether it execute the query successfully or it throws the error. All right, so we get the error again. Let me just pull out for you. So again, the error says check constraint users check one is violated. So we have defined one more constraint as check at the age column, and this throws an error that you are entering or you are inserting a wrong value, and the check is here to like save you from making this error. So this is how constraints are very useful while creating any table. So if you create any table in your database, do apply these constraints so that you will be and your table will be very safe and efficient in use. All right, so before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about some common mistakes that a lot of beginners make when working with SQL tables and how you can avoid them. So the first is forgetting to define a primary key. Trust me guys, this is a big one. As we know that a primary key uniquely identifies each row in your table, if you forget to set it, you might end up with duplicate records. And that's a nightmare when you are trying to fetch or update a specific data later. And we even saw in the previous examples where we were trying to insert the same record twice, just because the in the definition we got we provided or we defined the user ID as a primary key. We were kind of safe, and we like and the SQL threw the error that that cannot be happen because there is a primary key check or a constraint is available at the user ID. Second is inserting wrong data types. So let's say if your column type or the data type is too flexible. Say for example, for age, you define it as varchar instead of int. And then you might end up storing anything in there, even any invalid data. So that's why defining the right data type for each column is so important. Lastly, skipping constraints. So you might think that I will skip adding not null or check constraints like for now and do it later, but trust me, you will forget it. And that's when messy data creeps in. So say for example, without a check on age, someone might insert -5 or 200 by mistake. So it's not just unrealistic, it could break your business logic as well. So think of constraints as your table's safety guard. They keep your data healthy, clean, and trustworthy. And that's it for today's video. Today we learned how to create table, add data to it, and used some super useful constraints that keep our data clean and consistent. If this video helped you understand SQL a little better, do give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to Logical Kanika for more such content. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy querying!